And in the studio with us this morning, as he's kind enough to join us once a month, is Chris Anderson, White Township Manager. Joins us. Always good conversation with Chris and always lots to talk about. Our visit is presented by Marcus and Mack, voted the best law firm and the best personal injury lawyer 4 years in a row and the best of Indiana County contest. You can visit them online at marcusandmack.com. Good morning. Nah, it's not a busy time right now, is it?
No. Good morning, Todd. But, yeah, weather's beautiful out there.
Yeah, it's a great time to be outdoors, and there's plenty to do out of doors. Construction season is here. I got a question yesterday from somebody about the amphitheater. So, we've got all kinds of different areas we can go, but let's start with construction because there's a bunch of that going on.
Yeah, so lots of construction going on. First, the street sweeper, he's out and about. Next thing is we've started our annual ditching, which they go out and they scrape the edges of the road, keep the water off the road, so that doesn't cause any water damage, crack the edges, things like that. So they are doing some ditching. If you want to get the current list of jobs, go to our website, whitetownship.org. We do that once a week update where we can see what construction projects are. But the asphalt plants are open. Paving contract, we did let that paving contract, so we have some prepping work to do before they get in there next month. So it's a busy time.
Yeah. One of the things that happens at this time of the year for every municipality is they really have to go out and look at the roads and see how they did in the winter. And a lot of the freeze-thaw plays into how it is that you're going to approach the pothole season, the roads crumbling type of thing. How did White Township fare over the winter? Was it particularly hard?
Yeah, we had a few potholes pop up this year, and we took note of those, and we did cold patch them. But as this summer goes and we get some time, we do go back and repair some of those with some good hot asphalt mix, and make sure that they last. But one thing I will mention is the street signs. We've had some heavy winds this winter, this spring, that knock them over. Yesterday we had a report that a truck ran one over. But if you do see a road sign down, speed limits, parking sign, if with a street, anything, just let us know. We have you can call the office, or you can send an email or do an online submission through our website. But that seems to be the latest thing, is that some of these road signs are being hit, or wind's taking them over.
Yeah. Stormwater is always a concern. We've got some storms that are coming.
This wet weather this spring, we've had it's been we've had some heavy rains, and just making sure that the leftover leaves from last year are out of the ditches. They're not plugging up any cross pipes. They're not plugging up any basins. And then we get in, and the road crew, when they're out, they do assessments after each heavy rain to make sure that everything's functioning properly. But this wet weather, it's even been a challenge with the sewer system. We've talked before about infiltration of groundwater and rainwater into our sewer system causing issues, and this wet weather, it's been a wet spring.
People would be surprised at how many of those grates are there on our township roads and our borough roads. There are hundreds.
Yeah, there's
thousands.
There's lots of them, and we do have our complete system mapped. Mm-hmm. And so we have a pretty good handle on where they all are, but there's a lot of them.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's talk about paving because you mentioned that season it's not far off when you get ready for the summer paving, but a lot of prep work goes into that.
Yeah, so when we look at a road, usually it's a mix between office staff and the road crew and the road foreman, and we look at these roads and we say, okay, they're potholes, what repairs need fixed. Then we look at the stormwater infrastructure. Do we need to replace a pipe before we pave this road? So once we do pave this road, we're hoping to get 25, 30 years out of it. So we start looking at the underground infrastructure. What needs repaired? If we need a new cross pipe, we put a cross pipe in. If we need the inlet or the stormwater basin needs repaired, we do that prior to putting the asphalt on. So there's a good bit of prep work that goes into it, just so realistically we don't have to worry about it for 25 or 30 years.
You get the paving with the asphalt. Does White Township have an unusual, or maybe not unusually, but are there a large number of what we used to call pitch, tar and pitch type of roadways?
We do. They call it double seal coat now.
Yeah.
It used to be the old tar and chip. But they'll go in and they'll shoot the road with oil, and then they'll put a real fine stone on it, and then once it sets, we go over and sweep it. Mm-hmm. We do not have any scheduled for this summer, but last year we did quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it really does gain several years of maintenance free on the road. So
It's a much
we
better
utilize it.
process now,
Mhm.
too. I mean, it used to be, you'd put that tar down and then you would chip it, and then people would drive along for the next 2 weeks, and their cars would be getting all kinds of tar on them, and you'd hear the stones clapping up against them. It's different now.
It is different. They do like a fine oil and then a fine stone, and then it really sets up nice. It is almost like a pavement once it sets up.
It really is.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's actually very good and does extend the life of a roadway.
It sure does. It keeps the water out of the cracks, and that's as you know, that's what causes most of the damage at the freeze thaw.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a trip out to our parks in White Township, because there are a ton of those and good things going on. Let's start out there at the White Township Recreation Complex. Parks open, people enjoying the outdoors.
Yeah, baseball's full swing out there. Soccer is underway. I think the in-house with the soccer club starts off this weekend. Walking trails are open. We have the amphitheater, which is it's erected. It's up. The next step is the concrete work, and I do know that the elevations are set for the stage, and the concrete is set to be poured here, I believe, this week. So we're looking forward to that. Once that concrete stage is poured, we have some final work to do, some restoration. We have some like a partition wall there that we're going to put up to delineate the stage from the back, and there's a couple other minor things, but we're in a good place with the amphitheater. Mentioned that we have a grant application going in for a pavilion down below by the pond. So that'll be submitted to DCNR by the end of the month. So it's busy out there. Things are moving. Ice is off for the year. Transitioning outside. Moving on to other parks, though, we have the majority of the park restrooms are open. The Kennedy King Park restroom, which was recently delivered.
Yeah.
Water's hooked up. Everything is just, we got to get Penelec in there to hook the electric up. So as soon as that takes place, it'll be open for business.
How about that?
Yep.
How about that? That's a great improvement.
It is. It is. It's been a long time coming over there at the park.
Yeah. And of course, maintaining those parks, keeping them mowed and trimmed, to keeping, the basic everyday things like the garbage containers are cleared and are taken care of, and making them nice. That's not just for township employees. People can take an active role in making sure that their parks are still in good shape and inviting for everybody.
Yeah, and like you said, the garbage, even on windy days, it'll get ahead of us, and if the garbage can starts overflowing, the wind blows it. This year we had a little bit of work to do with the leftover leaves from the fall that came down. Some of the bigger oak trees in Getty Heights Park, they didn't drop their leaves till in the winter, and so we did have a cleanup or two day over there. But yeah, if you see anything at any of our parks, just report it. We'll take care of it.
Yeah. Okay. Tomorrow, special meeting having to do with the junked auto ordinance.
Yep. Special review or special meeting called by the supervisors. They're gonna review the junked automobile ordinance that has been in the meeting once or twice. During the regular meetings here, they want to take the time. They want to do some research, listen to people. Talk about some edits, and we'll use it as kind of a working meeting.
For those who aren't aware of the issues that are involved with the junked autos, what has been the holdup in getting an ordinance activated?
So what we've heard the most about it are our public meetings is just the property rights. People with concern with it's my property. I should be allowed to have what I want on it, and that's something. And our board is cognizant of the fact that we're both urban, suburban, and kind of rural in our own sense, and trying to figure an ordinance that one size fits all is tough, and that's what the position we're in right now.
Yeah, that is a difficult thing to work your way through, but that's what meetings such as tomorrow's are supposed to do. That's at what time? 7 o'clock?
It is at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Planning Commission tonight at 6:30.
Yeah. Anything special coming up for them?
No, Chick-fil-A has a little minor adjustment on their site plan that they're bringing before us. Windy Ridge out on 286 there, the county has some storage areas that they're looking at putting in out there with Nothing major on
Yeah.
the agenda for this evening.
Yeah, with all of the different construction projects that are either contemplated or are actively being planned right now, finding exact construction dates when you have everything finally lined up, it's a really difficult thing to come up with, isn't it? Because you're also dealing with private corporations and what their needs are and what their priorities are.
Yeah, it starts with sanitary sewer planning, then you have your traffic impact studies, and you're working with the township and PennDOT. You have all your utility coordination, and then once all that's complete, then you can start to design your building. And once you have that design and approved, you can work on your architectural and engineer drawings, and then budgeting. It is a process.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of budgeting, that process is always on your mind. It doesn't matter if a new budget has been passed; you're automatically working on the next one, and that's a difficult thing for folks. But sometimes, and in White Township's case, rare times, there is a necessity to increase bills.
Yeah, and we talked about this during the budgeting process. Our bills were going to increase, our quarterly bills. More specifically, the recycling was going to be now $4 a month, and the stormwater will be $3 a month. And everybody knows we try to stretch the dollar as far as we can and be financially responsible and look at the needs of the community, look at the needs of the infrastructure, and unfortunately we're in a position that with the cost of curbside pickup and the processing of the recycling materials, what it costs to process those, and we don't receive the amount of money that that we used to on some of those materials. So we did increase that, and like I think I told you, is we haven't had an increase since before 2016. So we tried to go as long as we could, but we were at a point where it just the fees caught up with us. And with regard to stormwater, there's tons of infrastructure. We talk about it every month, and just the cost rising with that, just a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you've got stormwater at Ben Franklin on Ben Franklin Road.
Yeah, there's stormwater, complete redo of the stormwater infrastructure on Ben Franklin Road is currently in design. If you did drive out there, you probably noticed a surveyor crew or two the last couple of weeks, but that survey has been complete. It's in our engineer's hand, and they're looking at the design here.
And you've got Pleasant View.
Pleasantville Sewer.
That's sanitary, right?
That's sanitary sewer, Pleasant View Pump Station, Force Main Rehab, and Pleasant View project. So that'll be a big project here that's designed through this year and probably looking at early next year through construction season.
Plenty going on in White Township.
Yeah, there's always something going on.
I appreciate it, Chris. Thanks so much.
Yeah, appreciate it, Todd.
It's Indiana in the morning. It's WCCS at 2 before 8.